Okay, so the Hammer is in Steubenville. Mark Coleman. Mark, first off, what do you think of the Sportatorium and what Smitty's done here in Steubenville?
Well, first, I just love Smitty. I've been friends with him for a long time. A huge wrestling fan, a wrestler himself. So we got a nice bond. He's been working on the Sportatorium for years now. It's a huge monster of a place. He's putting a lot of hard work, a lot of time to fix this up, to be able to bring kids in from Steubenville to in there. He's got basketball in there. Of course, he's got wrestling mats down, lots of big wrestling mats, a basketball room, batting cage, volleyball, just for all the kids in Steubenville to get them off the streets, get them in here playing, building their confidence, and just being a better person. Smitty just worked so hard. The place is huge. It's a working process. He can keep working for a long time in there, and he will do that. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy to help him out, and whatever I can do. I'm a big fan of Smitty.
Okay, when we talk about kids getting active, that was the big thing you talked on the news. Getting kids off the couch. How important is that, getting kids off the couch and just getting them active?
Oh, I think it's so important. It's the key, because I remember being a kid. You get up in the morning, you open the door, and you hope your mom doesn't call you home. You're outside playing. We played all day, and waiting for the mama to call us home to eat. But now kids need to get out more. A lot of computers, phones, games, videos. That's fun and that, but they need to get active, get healthy, get some training in, set some goals, and build your confidence and be a good person. And I think this is what brings the kids here free opportunity to better themselves. So just a good thing down here in Steubenville.
Obviously, your background's wrestling. You're the godfather of ground and pound. Take somebody down and punch them till they don't want to be in an octagon with you anymore. But how just instrumental has wrestling been to you and to so many of the guys who you've trained, coached, and been with? And Wes is a basketball player. Wes Sims is a basketball player, right? So he doesn't even have really a wrestling background, but he's such a matchup problem for people, and the guy can still fight. But when you look at, if we would have got a guy like that into wrestling, think about how much it would have changed for Wes Sims, and he still could be, still presents a problem, right?
Well,
but wrestling, right?
I owe a lot to wrestling. It gave me the confidence. I was a shy kid, and I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be the toughest man in the world. Even though there was no sport, I still wanted to be that guy, but I also wanted to be an Olympic champion, an NFL football player. I set my goals high, and I worked hard as a kid. We didn't have many other things to do. I was doing my push-ups and sit-ups when I was 5 years old. I already had my goals set way back then and started hitting the weights as soon as, I got it old enough to hit those. That's what these guys got, that opportunity in wrestling. Yes, I used it. Obviously, I walked off the Olympic wrestling mat, or I walked off the Olympic trials into the cage 30 days later, and pretty much didn't lay and pray. I ground and pounded. I would take you down, and certainly the game plan was hit this guy until he quits. I did use a lot of strategy. People don't realize that I was out there thinking quite a bit, learning on the job. I was learning how to fight on the job.
And you did. That was what was crazy about it. It was like you were such a natural brute with wrestling. We were talking about the can openers, the neck cranks that you were using.
I made them work.
It was natural wrestling stuff.
I made it work. The moves do work, and it doesn't matter who the opponents were. But I made stuff work. I wiggled my way through. I had some good nights. I had some bad nights, but I rose to the occasion enough times to satisfy me. I think so. I really wish I could do it again, to be honest with you.
Okay, so we're
gonna miss it.
We're gonna get you do miss it. There's no question. But you're gonna get up there and show some technique, a little technique.
Oh, just a little bit.
A little bit, right? But the hips are better. The hips are feeling better, right?
The hips are feeling better, but they're. I don't want to risk. I still got to get the confidence. I need to get the confidence back now, because I did have problems with the hip. It did pop out on me 6 times, and I never experienced no kind of pain like that in my life. And I don't want it to happen again, so I need to rehab it a little bit more. I'm going to get in here and try something, but I'm going to be very careful.
What are we going to see? Tell the story. Come on.
The move that I won the Olympic trials with, the best 2 out of 3 matches, is the 3rd match with Bill Scheer. My daddy had told me I need to come up with some kind of move in case I'm down and need some quick points. And I kind of said he didn't know what he's talking about, but sure enough, against Bill Scheer, I was actually just trying to Japanese arm throw. It's a big move, but I was really just trying to do it to get a slip throw, and I was more of a singles and double man. But sure enough, he wasn't waiting for it, and I exposed him for 3 points. And man, I made the Olympic team. It was just so cool, so amazing. My dream, win the Olympics was my dream, but first you got to get there. So that was one of my first super emotional highs. Big time. The national championship, obviously, Ohio State was big. You go back to the state championship in high school. You set your goals. You set short-term goals, and then you set long-term goals. So every time you achieved one, just such a good feeling. And wrestling all the way. I preach it all the time. If you can't wrestle, you can't fight. And it's turned into more of a stand-up game. But trust me, there's still a lot of wrestling going on in that cage. But people want to see the knockouts. The wrestlers are athletes. They can transform from wrestlers into really good stand-up fighters, as we see all the time. Look at the champions.
Yeah, you're right.
Former
5 out of 7 right now, right?
Something like that.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Fair.
Oh, hey, thanks for the
But
time.
everybody can wrestle now.
Yeah. No, they have to.
You got to do it all. Everybody can do it all, but to me, the best base to have would be wrestling. The mental toughness it gives you, the grind. Wrestlers just a different breed. Just a different breed. We stick together, great group, and turned it into UFC champions, man. It's the greatest sport in the world. MMA, mixed martial arts, the greatest sport in the world. Wrestling, a tie.
All right.
Fair enough?
Yes. Thank you for the time. Let's get up there and see that Japanese wizard. I'm excited, all right?
It'll be a little bit
all right.
slow.
Thanks, Mark.